Neobits.
Knight's Chance is a one-of-a-kind game. It's the only game on the Neo Geo MVS platform that features 4 gambling games. How cool is that? Now, for those that don't know, the MVS was officially discontinued back in 2004 by SNK Playmore. As such, the only new games that get released are indie releases, and that means one thing: passion. Everyone who works on exclusive games for retro consoles, be it the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, or the Neo Geo MVS or AES, has more dedication and passion for the craft than just about anyone else in the industry. And you know why that is? Because these people aren't doing this for millions of dollars or basically a paycheck. No, instead they're doing this for the pure pleasure of giving the gaming community something new to play. And hey, let's be honest, if they can make a couple of bucks at the same time, why not? So the $300 question is Knight's Chance worth your hard-earned money for lifelong Neo Geo MVS fans and collectors? And I hope that this review answers that question. So let's begin by looking at the 4 individual games that are included in Knight's Chance. We're going to begin with Dragon's Hollow. This card game has you placing your bet and then being dealt 5 cards. Essentially what you want to do is get a good poker hand. So basically, you know, get a flush, a straight, a royal flush, etc. And you have to have a minimum of a pair of jacks in order to score any points whatsoever. This one is pretty much entirely luck based, as you can only get new cards once before the call happens. So you have to play your hand wise, and perhaps luck will be on your side. But if you're anything like me, you'll never be able to crack the top 5 scores. The next game is Cursed Mind. Test your memory with a really unique title game that challenges you to continuously select the correct icons from covered tiles. When the game starts, you're shown the entire board, but then all the icons turn around and you have to match like icons for an increased multiplier. The 6x5 grid also features a Seeing Eye gem, which will grant you another chance to see the entire board, and this happens around 5 times if you can survive long enough. This is one of the best games in the compilation because it really challenges you to pay attention and memorize where all the icons are located. The third game in the set is Mystic Dice, and I think this is probably my favorite game. It's another luck-based game, but it's really unique and quite challenging. You have 10 turns to get your highest possible score, and in order to do that, you have to roll the 6 dice. And based on what you roll, you're going to keep whatever you want. And now that might be 2 1s, 3 6s, etc. You look on the right hand side and there's a scoreboard there. Whatever you don't want with the remaining dice, you can roll again. But you have to be careful, because if you don't get any usable dice in that second roll, you'll sort of forfeit your turn, and then you'll lose all the points that you got on the previous turn. So it's sort of like this give and take where you're like, okay, do I want to take the chance of rolling again, or do I just want to keep these points? I really like that, and I think this is just a phenomenal game. Finally, the last game in the set is Demon's Hold, and essentially this is a game of blackjack. It's that simple. You place your bet and the round begins, and you just keep calling for cards until you get 21, or until you feel that you have enough to beat the computer. That's pretty much it. You can double down, you can split, you can do all the things you, well, can do in a game of blackjack. And it's a really fun game, and I enjoy this one when I just want to sit down and relax and not really think of anything. It's fun. All 4 games are really fun to play. But like I said, I think the dice game is my personal favorite because you always want to push your luck and do one more roll, which typically screws me over completely. But I love gambling games like that entice you to take that one extra chance. Overall, I find the visuals are absolutely fantastic, and as you can see in the video, there's a wonderful splash screen intro which shows the knight on the horse with a wizard about to face off, and it's all the other little things in the individual games that I really enjoy. You've got the sprites that are nice and detailed and large. You've got great animations going on, lovely details in the background, and I even like the special effects that are throughout the 4 mini games or gambling games or whatever you want to call them. It's all the little touches though that really make this game shine, like the dragon breathing fire in Dragon's Hollow, or the way the hand animates in Mystic Dice. I also really enjoyed the game over swirl. And yeah, I know you're like, well, why am I talking about a game over swirl? But seriously, you have to think, this is an indie release on hardware that is more than 20 years old, so it's little touches like this that show the dedication and passion that went into the development of this game. And surprisingly, there are a lot of voice samples that really come off clean and loud in Demon's Hold. I didn't expect that whatsoever, and get this, they don't even repeat that often, which blew my mind. The rest of the sound effects also come across perfectly, and the ambient noises only enhance the setting. This really truly feels like a fantasy-based video game. Speaking of sounds, the soundtrack itself mostly takes a backseat to the sound effects, but that doesn't mean it's non-existent. The tracks that play out during Mystic Dice, for example, are just fantastic, but the others feel perfectly in line with a fantasy-based video game. The only negative thing I have to say is that once a game is done, you have to sit through the high scores screen, which lasts maybe 10 to 15 seconds, and then you'll get to the game over swirl, and then it reboots and you can start all over again. But I wish I could have just skipped the high score page and just gone straight back to the game over, so I could have got right back into the thick of things. But really, that's a really minor gripe. So, bottom line, if you enjoy casino games, gambling, or card games, Knight's Chance features 4 truly excellent takes on some really classic games. Each is a game of chance versus skill. While it's true that the Neo Geo MVS games are extremely expensive compared to your typical console releases, the truth of the matter is that the level of polish and dedication that went into this release is evident in that it feels like you're playing an authentic SNK game that just so happens to have been found in the year 2014. That's an incredible feeling, and I encourage all Neo Geo fans to go support NeoBits, because thanks to their efforts and their dedication and passion, the Neo Geo lives on. For the full written review, be sure to check out projectcoe.com.